The Wall Street Journal just put together a piece that really makes me concerned that a lot more people need to sign up for life insurance via the link down below, the sponsored link on signing up in this of those 5 minutes. No, actually, it's this piece right here that is a little disappointing. American values have pulled back, according to a new Wall Street Journal and University of Chicago poll. And I want to show you some of the takeaways here. Patriotism, religious faith, and having children and other priorities are receding in importance. Take a look at some of these charts over here, okay? So we're going to go through these. Look at this. Percentage of Americans who say values are very important to them. This is a 1998 study right here, compared to 2019, compared to 2023. Listen to this. Patriotism went from 70% important to 61% important to just 38% important. Now, I actually think that's really sad. I actually fly an American flag on both my office and my home. I'm a big fan of America. I wasn't born in America. I'm an immigrant. I'm a big fan of the opportunities that America creates. So I'm very sad to see that. Now, who knows? Maybe is that because of people's frustration with politics? You know, have things gotten too divisive in our country? Maybe, but that's kind of sad to see. Religion. People who say religion are very important to them. Look at that, going from 62% in the last 25 years down to 39% religion, becoming way less important. Yikes. Look at this one, having children. What the hell, man? Having children halved in importance to people from 59 to 30. Dude, I want to have like 10 children. I'm like, Lauren, start lining up surrogates. Like, this is taking too long. Like, we need an army of children here. We only have 2. I need a 10X, man. I need 20 children. And she's like, but you said 6 when we started. And I go, clickbait. And she's like, all right, well, I'm used to that. Anyway, having children halved in importance. Like, what the heck? Community involvement has fallen in importance, down to 27%. Crazy. And look at the only thing that actually went up in importance, from 31% importance to 43% importance, baby. The big M word. Money, money, money. That's the only thing that's gone up in importance. How crazy is that to people? Now, there's a lot in this. Look at this. So we saw the patriotism decline. Only 23% of adults under 30 said having children is very important. Are you kidding me? More children. I will make up for this. Single-handedly make sure we have more children in America. I'll take it upon myself. That'll be my charity, is having more children. What else do we have here? Oh yeah, there are some more polls here. Look at this. Percentage of these values are very important to them. Okay, we saw that that's a reformatted chart. Here we go. For each of the following, has our society gone too far, not gone far enough, or is it about right? And the following chart shows the people who say something has gone too far. So, accepting people who are transgender, Republicans say it has gone too far. Well, that's true. If you go on Republican TikTok or Twitter right now, basically everybody's like, that's it, transgender people are now shooting up schools. And this is because of the disaster that just occurred in Nashville. Absolutely horrific. Thank God police were already on site clearing the first floor of that school before shots started being fired by an individual who had a rifle and a handgun. Thank God police were already on scene when the shooting began. It's still terrible that 6 people had to lose their lives. 3 8- and 9-year-olds, absolutely disgusting, and 3 adults who were in their 60s. Terrible, absolutely terrible and devastating. But anyway, you go on Republican TikTok, now everybody's blaming the transgender community. Which that's not fair. And I know people are going through like the list of school shooters and stuff, and they're like, oh, well, look at all these people who identify in whatever ways. I don't know. Like I don't think that we could really take school shooters and identify and say that's it. People who are of one persuasion are definitely school shooters. I think that goes a little too far. But you do see that kind of stuff on the Republican TikTok and Twitter right now. I'm open to obviously your opinions on that. Personally, I have no problem with accepting people who are gay, lesbian, bisexual. You want to be trans. I have no problem with that. That's my opinion, right? It's totally my opinion. And so I think that could potentially go further. So I probably sit over here in more of that independent camp, where people are like, no, it hasn't gone too far. But it actually seems like a lot of Republicans agree with that. Only half of Republicans think acceptance of gay and bisexual has gone too far. So that seems to be pretty neutral there. Schools and universities taking steps to promote racial and ethnic diversity. This is the same question as then asked of businesses. So they asked the question of schools and universities and then businesses. And here there's a really big divide. So here you have Republicans who think, over half of them think this has gone way too far, but only 6 to 7% of those on the left think it's gone too far. I also, again, probably identify in the middle here and more of the independent camp. But yeah, I mean, they're like, I'm a big fan of merit. I'm a big fan of, I don't care if you're Muslim, if you're Jewish. I'm not Jewish, but I went to a temple as a child because I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what the color of your skin is. None of that matters to me. You know what matters to me is that you work your ass off. That's it. And the people around me who work their ass off, whether they know it not or yet, or whether they know it now or will know it, at some point they will realize I recognize it very highly, and they will get substantially rewarded for that. But the point is, to me, I'm a big fan of hard work. Big fan. The people who work hard, it doesn't matter if you're Jewish or Muslim or black or Indian or Mormon or whatever, right? So I'm a big fan of merit. And I do think there is a potential argument that forcing a diversity allocation might have gone a little too far. I think there's an argument to be made there where, skill-based jobs are potentially going in the wrong direction solely because of quotas that need to be met. So I do have concerns with that, and that's not to say that there shouldn't be balanced representation of opinions between men and women and people of different backgrounds. But we can't let merit be sacrificed based on that. That's my opinion. Maybe unpopular opinion. I don't know. At least I'll speak my mind. So I think this is a very interesting piece right here. And it's the saddest thing to me is probably over here that you have a really big decline in patriotism amongst left people on the left and independents. And a massive decline in children across the board, all walks of life declining here in having children and patriotism more on the left and middle, community involvement across the board plummeting, and then this increase basically in money as an importance from the 1998 levels. Probably unsurprising. I think some of that is potentially due to a cynicism of the system. So I think like the way I might explain this is I think a lot of us are realizing we have to take care of ourselves. We have to become basically financially independent, that you can't rely on a union or the government to support you. And really, we have to rely on ourselves. So I think as a result of that, maybe we could say maybe that's why people see community involvement as an opportunity cost, maybe children as an expense. That's a terrible thing to say, but it's possible, right? And then less belief in government, possibly based on the extremeness that we see on social media and mainstream media that basically divides our country more. So that would be my explanation for why we're seeing more of an interest in money, which is great for people like me who are encouraging people to check out programs on Building Your Wealth link down below, because I sincerely believe I could teach you how to become a millionaire, especially in zero to millionaire real estate investing combined with stocks and psych. I think anybody watching this can do it. I'm highly confident of that. Like, the road is there. You just have to go on it. But anyway, I think there is a potential that this cynicism that we're seeing in political parties and government is actually leading to a higher interest in becoming financially independent in our society. So I think that's very interesting to me. Somebody here writes that's the destruction of the nuclear family. Yeah, I think that's I know there are a lot of single parent households and it's terrible. I think my parents divorced when I was 6, and I think divorce is terrible. I think single parent households are a lot more challenged, certainly, than the nuclear family, so to speak. Corporate wokeness to avoid litigation is being confused with ordinary morals. Yeah, I do think that has a lot of merit in what you're saying. I do think there's a lot of fear about litigation that's leading to a lot of the policies that we see today. Hard to feel patriotic or desire to have children when you live in financial precarity, as many young people continue to do. This is true. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have money, you can't have children. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Completely agree with you. The road is there, but not everyone can afford the tolls. Well, yeah, but I think there are ways to get to where you can afford, going down the path. Like, it's not everybody watching this can buy real estate in their life. It's just a matter of knowing how to play the game. That's why I have programs on building your wealth is I'm trying to teach people how to play the game. It's a game. You got to know how to play the game to win. If you don't know the rules of the game, why do you think you're losing? Why do you think you're broke? Well, because nobody's taught you the rules of the game. Once you know the rules of the game, it's a lot easier to get ahead, in my opinion. Republican values from that poll seem more in line with core values that made America great. Steve, well, we know Steve. I mean, this is coming from Steve. This is commodities guy. That's okay, though. I mean, and Steve acknowledges his position. He's not bashful about his position. But, I mean, look, having children and community involvement and patriotism and a merit-based economy, these are, regardless of your political persuasion, very important values. Very important values. So, merit over immutable traits. For example, I personally think it's unfair. Not that I'd want to. But, some people, when I ran for governor, they're like, oh, it's so lame you can't run for president because you were born in a different country. And I'm like, I didn't choose where I was born. I didn't choose to be white. I didn't choose those two things. I have zero control over that. But no amount of merit will change the color of my skin or where I was born. And so to some extent, some people have alluded to the constitutional requirement of being born in the United States as almost a form of bornism. I'm not trying to call it racism, but that's kind of what some people call it. Kind of crazy. So crazy time to be alive, and sad to see some of those changes in the polls there. But that gives you an update on the change in American values from a point of view of the Wall Street Journal. And it makes me want to remind you to check out all of the things and services that you could be offered by going to meetkevin.com. Learn about my real estate startup. If you're a accredited investor, we got a deadline in 3 days. My actively managed ETF, my courses and live streams on building your wealth, and affiliate links like metkevin.com/free to get 12 free stocks, and metkevin.com/life to get life insurance in as little as 5 minutes. Bam, that timing was good that time.